Welcome back to Third Down here. Our next topic is going to be, we're going to be heading into baseball here with our next topic. The offseason, guys. It's going on right now. So what team do you think has made the biggest impact this offseason? I mean, there's Boston signing Carl Crawford, trading for Adrian Gonzalez. I mean, we got the Yankees re-signing their own guys here. Nationals made some splashes out there. So, I mean, Phillies going big. Any thoughts?
Well, I'm just going to say it right now. It's the Boston Red Sox, okay? Carl Crawford, big addition to that team. You put him somewhere near the top of the order. Okay, Adrian Gonzalez, he's going to bat cleanup, maybe 3. Big additions right there. Did they lose Victor Martinez and Adrian Beltre? Well, of course they did. But you know what? Beltre's good for 1 year every maybe 5 or 6. Okay, he had that one good year with the Dodgers. Went to Seattle for, 5 years? Did he do anything while he was there? No.
And it seems like another thing with Beltre, too. He only does good in his contract year.
Which is exactly it. Someone will go get him. I think Oakland's looking at him right now. They'll sign him for 5 years, and by the end of that contract, he'll be an old man. They lost Victor Martinez, okay. Offensive catcher. He can hit the ball better than most catchers, okay.
Yes, I should know from the days in Cleveland.
Yeah. Defensively, though, he's weak. Can't throw anybody out. He's starting to get up there a little bit. They're playing him at first base a little more. That's fine. Gonzalez, Crawford, big signings, as well as Bobby Jenks and Dan Wheeler in the bullpen. Boston made the best offseason thus far.
Ray? Chip?
I'm actually going to agree with the Boston Red Sox because the big picture here. The Phillies got Cliff Lee. Now they have Holiday. They have Hamels. Now they have Cliff Lee. That's okay. Great pitching, but I don't know. It's not really a balanced team. The Red Sox have, I think, a balanced team. And the Yankees, I don't know what they did in the offseason. They signed 2 guys, but that's
brought back 2
fine.
Old men. That's it.
2 old men. They went to a nursing home and got 2 old guys. Big deal.
And
no problem.
Paid
Boston
them well.
Boston made the best offseason. It's clear cut.
I don't know. I'll go with the Phillies because adding Cliff Lee to that rotation, you have Halliday, Cliff Lee, Oswalt, Hamels. All 4 of those guys right there can be number 1s on any other team. That's maybe one of the best rotations ever, at least as long as I've been born, that I've seen put together.
That was a sad day when you were born.
Hey, don't forget about Atlanta with Glavine, Maddox. They had it pretty good too. They had 4
there was
good guys.
3.
Well,
right?
Smoltz, right?
Yeah.
But how's their hitting?
Who, Philly? They have Victorino,
They
Chase
lost Worth.
Utley.
They lost Worth.
Yeah, but
He was worthless.
But still, they have Victorino, they have Utley, Ryan Howard, Polanco, they still have a decent.
Another thing too, those guys are all
first
locked
5.
up. Those guys are locked up for a while.
But the question here was better off season. All the Phillies did was add Cliff Lee. Yes, he may have joined the now best rotation in baseball. But the question at hand here, better off season. The Red Sox made more moves, more of a splash. Best off season as of now, the Red Sox.
The Red Sox are a monster, definitely.
So what's Boston going to do for catching since they lost Victor Martinez?
Well, they still have Saltalamacchia. They brought Veritek back, so it's weak. It's weak, but
I'm available.
they're gonna platoon 2 guys right now, and we'll see how that turns out. But the rest of their lineup's pretty good, and the second also Ray said. I mean, Philly, not to take anything away, they certainly do have maybe the best rotation in baseball. If they keep Blanton for their number 5, they have to trade him away. But
Moyer, right?
Moyer's out. He's out for the season.
Yeah, we had Tommy John. Yeah,
and he's like 78 years old. So.
Yes.
But he's still good for his age. So.
I mean, I don't even know if I was them. I would just go with 4.
But the best offseason was Boston.
So do you think Boston's just going to run away with the division? Or do you think it's going to be close? Because remember, Tampa Bay...
It'll always be close.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay is definitely taking a step back after losing Crawford.
Absolutely.
Pena, and they just lost...
And the Yankees
Dan
still have...
Wheeler. Soriano, their closer's not coming back. They traded Jason Bartlett away to the Padres. Tampa Bay's falling apart.
And the Yankees still have a fraud in that locker room, so they're not going to go anywhere. They're not going to win another championship.
Right.
They'll still compete.
No, they won't.
So what are your thoughts about the Yankees re-signing Jeter for the money they paid him in Rivera?
Money's ridiculous, but you got to keep the guy.
He's your face of the franchise. Got to keep the guy, but overpaid.
Yeah,
Agreed.
absolutely.
I like Jeter. If I were the Yankees, I'd get rid of A-Fraud and put better money into that team. But Jeter's definitely a big one to keep.
So another topic too. How about salaries in baseball? I mean, these guys have just cashed in, and now you hear complaints about money. I mean, yeah, Lee is being praised as a hero for taking less money, and then you got guys like Renneria who got offered $1 million, and it's pretty much is like, I can't get out of bed for $1 million. So thoughts on this, on salary?
Oh, ridiculous.
Liners.
Right.
I deserve a high salary.
I mean, Lee's making 20, Crawford's making, what, 22, something, 23, something?
In all fairness to baseball, of all the four major sports, they probably do the most work. It's maybe the most, there's no, it's not a physical sport, so to speak, but the length of the season, plus you add spring training onto that, teams that make the postseason. I mean, sometimes, 8, 9 months out of the year? I mean, these guys are away from home and,
They don't
working. I'm sure some don't, but still, the longest season, and that is a lot of work for them.
You still have to keep your arm warmed up during the off season.
Right, you can't just sit back. But so they work the hardest throughout the year. So should their salaries maybe be more than all the other sports? Yeah, probably, but nonetheless, it's still ridiculous amounts, and nobody should be making the money they are. Nobody,
Especially this off season. The
Couldn't have
contract
said that best.
Just look at Jason Worth, $18 million for him.
That's one of the worst deals I've ever seen in my life. Absolutely.
Only one person is worth that much money, and it was Barry Bonds, and I stand behind my statement with that.
Barry Bonds.
Steroids. Whole nother argument, but come on.
He was never proven guilty.
It'll come out in 5 years. It will.
And that's another talk, too, with the Yankees and Russell Martin. Since Russell Martin had a couple good years with the Dodgers, the past few, he has not shown anything at all. Do you think a change of scenery in New York with all the limelight, the pressures, do you think he will succeed in New York?
No.
I think
In that lineup, I think he'll resurrect his career as well. I don't think he'll get back, but you never know. I mean, Posada, is he still going to split some time there? I know they're trying to move him to DHing, and we'll see. I think it'll help. You go in a lineup like that. I don't care who you are. You're going to get better. There's going to be more guys on base, more of an opportunity, and But at the same time, I mean, the AL East pitching is a lot harder than it was in the NL West. So we'll see if he can hit American League pitching.
Let's see how Can't Count on Sabathia does this year in the postseason. Because him and A-Fraud are both going to fold. And every Yankee fan is going to say, oh, no. Yes, they will. You just watch. They're going to fold.
So do you guys think the Yankees are going to somehow whip up a trade? I know Greinke's name has been tossed around out there. I mean,
no.
Do you think he's going to land somewhere? I mean, Texas seems to be interested in him
Toronto,
now.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe the Yankees will pull it out. They always seem to pull something out and bring in a big star.
And they end up failing like they have in the past couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Greinke will really help them, compared to what Boston got this offseason.
Plus, we know Greinke has that situation where it's anxiety disorder or something,
right.
And I guess that's cured for it too. But I mean, I
don't know
if they'll be able to pitch in New York. I mean, let's face it, there's a lot of guys went to New York and they really couldn't make it out there at all. So
A-Fraud.
But I mean, all right. Well, since we just touched base on this topic a little bit, we'll move on to our next baseball topic. Is Cliff Lee. I mean, Cliff Lee going to the Phillies. Is this the best 1-2 ever, or best pitching combination ever, rotation?
Absolutely.
You think it is of all time?
It's dominating, like Ray said, as much as I hate to agree with anybody on that side of the table. Yes, the Phillies are a powerhouse. They do have hitting. Now they have complete pitching. This is the best pitching rotation I've seen in years. So, yes, I think the Phillies are definitely going to be a powerhouse.
With the question at hand, best 1-2 ever. It's quite possible, okay? Roy Halladay,
yes.
Absolutely nasty. He is going to go down as one of the best ever. The guy gives you a complete game almost every time out. He's always putting his team in position to win, even when he had such a weak lineup in Toronto, still giving them the same opportunity. The man's a workhorse, and he's going to go down as one of the best ever. But with Cliff Lee, he complements him well, righty-lefty. It's pretty good, but need I remind us of 2007 Cliff Lee, okay? The man was 4-9 with a 5.38 ERA in 16 starts. he was demoted to AAA, for God's sake, because he couldn't cut it in Cleveland. Okay, so let's remember that as his career numbers. Yeah, he's got a 3.85 ERA career. You know, he's solid. Okay, but let's not forget that year. Okay, he's got that in him. He can get roughed up a little bit. The past few years have treated him well. He had the Cy Young in 2008, but you know that's still in him.
The
That
focus
5
is
ERA.
on now, not in the past.
That's true, but he's
Hey,
capable of being
just-
demoted to AAA again. Okay.
Just think the past, the Indians could still have Sebastian Lee right now.
Now you're just dreaming, Max.
Well, what about Lincecum and Matt Cain?
That's another one too. Also, back in the '90s with the Braves, with Maddox, Glavine, Swartz.
Right.
I know Deon, you touched base about it. So I mean, of all time, I mean, it's tough to say which is the best staff ever.
I guess we'll see
This
this
is definitely up there.
We'll have to see what happens this year. That's for sure. It's going to tell. It's going to tell a lot. Do I think Philly will be in the World Series again?
Yes.
Yeah, more than likely. The Giants, you know, they'll be back. They're getting a little bit older again, but you know, their pitching's still real young and still real solid. So we'll see. I'm thinking San Fran, Philly again, maybe. And
Although
LCS.
Halladay doesn't have a very good postseason career. I mean, he got there so many times in Toronto.
Gonna say
Our
how many
good
times has he had an
neighbors to the
opportunity
north.
there?
He did have that no hitter though.
He did.
So against Cincinnati.
And with San Fran, they offered Renteria a $1 million contract. Are you kidding me?
So
You know, so they might not even be able to keep him. I
Mhm.
mean,
although they did get Tejada out
Tejada.
there,
They did
so,
give Miguel
yeah.
Tejada.
so I mean that could help. I mean San Fran's still gonna be in the mix, but okay. Now out of all the teams in the AL and NL, do you see any teams that are sleepers that are just gonna somehow pull like a Texas Rangers last year, or just jump into this out of nowhere? I know it's still early yet, and nothing's.
I kind of like the White Sox. I like
Yeah.
the addition of Adam Dunn.
He strikes out, but yeah, he'll help out. Kerner goes back as well, so you know,
Yeah.
we'll see.
But they did lose Bobby Jenks, you know.
Right. Thornton's still at the back end of the rotate or the bullpen, so we'll see. You know, but yeah, Jenks he had a bad year, but
They could be. I think they could be maybe a surprise team.
White Sox, I agree with that.
I want to say the Milwaukee Brewers.
Okay.
What about that, Chip?
Any other thoughts?
I'm just saying, a lot of weird things can happen. They
You
do
like
have
Prince
Fielder.
Fielder.
I do like Prince Fielder.
He might get traded.
He won't get traded. He likes it in Milwaukee. He's a little bit big. He can't run real well, but he can hit that ball a mile.
It's just like you like this show. If you like being out here, Chip, huh?
Don't flatter me, Max. I'm just going to say the Milwaukee Brewers, just to say that if it does happen, I'm right.
They did add another pitcher. They added Sean Markham to their staff.
He did.
So
I just want it to happen so I can say I'm right and see you guys again in the fall, and say, oh, I said that.
They were. I mean, they did pick it up last year. They were pretty decent.
all right, right now, if you had to say a World Series prediction for this year,
Phillies, Boston.
I
Yeah.
second Chip on that.
Yeah, I have to agree as
oh,
well.
I agree, but maybe let's see. I think we all agree here, but I'm thinking I'm gonna maybe throw someone else out there.
If you say the Indians, then you're going to get tossed off the show.
No, you know what? You know what? As much as I want to say, I think it's gonna be Boston and Philly. I mean.
You should love to say that. There's nothing wrong with saying that.
So, but I mean, well, that's going to wrap up third down, and we're going to take a quick commercial break. And coming up, we got fourth down, so don't go away. We'll be right back on 4th and 30.
Hi, do you have the new 360 game, Call of Duty Black Ops
I got to get up.
PS3?
I have Mario All Stars.
I want new games.
These are new games.
Yeah, new in the 1980s.
You don't have to be a wise.
Do you have Halo Reach?
No. I have Jurassic Park. These are all for Super NES. Come to my flea market stand. I only
No,
have,
thank you.